Good morning, CSL Greater Baltimore. My name is Heather Jones, and I am the practitioner leading meditation this morning. And so I invite you to close your eyes if you are able. And I invite you to let go of everything that came before this moment and be present and ready here and now. And so we're going to take a few deep breaths. And I'm going to ask you to do a very, very long exhale, as if you're taking a deep sigh of relief. So inhale in, hold, and do a very long exhale. Inhale, hold, very long exhale. One more time, inhale, hold, exhale out. So how grateful I am that we have this opportunity to relax, to release everything that came before this moment, to be present here and now. How grateful I am that we get this opportunity, we have this opportunity to go within, to tune into the stillness, the peace, the grace, the harmony, the light, and the joy of God that is always available. It is the truth of who and what we are. It is right here, right now, happening. So I'm grateful that we have this opportunity to just rest in the silence. So we'll just take these next few moments and sit in the silence. If you notice your mind wandering, I invite you to just come back and notice, focus on your breath. So I invite you to come back to this space. You need to, you can wiggle your fingers or your toes to bring yourself back to this space. And how grateful I am to speak a word to close this meditation. I'm grateful to know that God is all that there is. God is stillness. God is peace. It is the power that knows all and surrounds all. It is right here, right now, expressing. It is right here, right now, fully active, fully flowing. It is giving itself abundantly, powerfully, expansively. I am one with God. I am one with all that God is. God in me, as me, is me. And I know that everyone within the sound of my voice is God expressing. We are all one with the one. So I give thanks for this meditation service. I'm grateful that we anchor the power of our own divinity. I'm grateful that we had this opportunity to be still, become aware of our alignment and our oneness with God. So in gratitude for all that we receive, all that we are, and all that we have, and all that we give, I'll rest and release this word into the law, knowing it is done right now. And so it is. Amen.
In this moment, everything shows up, everything presents itself just as it is. And when you slow down, let it all happen. Something fantastic, magic happens in you. And when you breathe in, it's like we're all listening to an echoing of our own souls. It's just like a rain cloud, relief it comes pouring down on a thirsty world. Meditation is a medication to cure the illusion a separation. Meditation is a medication to cure the illusion of a separation. A separation. Until a mind that's still becomes a cup that's filled with effervescence, ever-presence, and a heart that swells. And when you drink from this to never-ending peacefulness, don't have to believe in this. It's a story that tells itself. And when you breathe in, it's like we're all listening to an echoing of our own souls. And when you breathe out, it's just like the rain cloud. Relief, it comes pouring down on a thirsty world. Meditation is a medication to cure the illusion of a separation. Meditation is a medication to cure the illusion of a separation. We are one when we are all together, and we are one when we are all alone. We are one when we are all together, and we are one when we are all alone. Have you ever been here? Have you ever stayed here? Have you never left here for more than a glance? Have you ever faced this? Have you ever tasted this? There's a relief in the sweetness. Every moment is another chance. And just breathe in. It's like we're all listening to an echoing of our own souls. And when you breathe out, it's just like a rain cloud. Relief, it comes pouring down on a thirsty world. Meditation is a medication to cure the illusion of a separation. Meditation is a medication to cure the illusion of a separation. Oh, Namah Shivaya. Oh, Namah Shivaya. Oh, Namah Shivaya. Oh, Namah Shivaya. We are one when we are all together. We are one when we are all alone. I have a dream. We are one when we are all together. We are one when we are all alone. Oh, Namah Shivaya. Oh, Namah Shivaya. Oh, Namah Shivaya. Oh, Namah Shivaya. Oh.
Ha! Good morning and happy chilly Sunday morning. Ha ha! And I'm not talking about the food. All right. In order to help with our method of recording service, we request that congregants and participants who are not speaking, performing, or interpreting to please turn cameras off until after service. At that time, all can come on camera to fellowship and share the love. Thank you for your cooperation. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore's virtual service. I am Tracy Rhymes, your host. Senior Minister, Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, is our speaker today. Our musicians are Where the Light Gets In. Serving as today's practitioner, who also led the pre-service meditation, is Heather Jones. Assisting with making this service open, inviting, and accessible to the deaf community are our sign language interpreters, Dedra Wilcher and Sonya Chavis. On behalf of Reverend Dr. Ray, thank you for your service. At CSLGB, every Sunday is an invite a friend or family member Sunday. Make sure you spread the love and invite someone to service. We would love to have them hang out with us.
Yes, we would.
We would? You sure we would?
I'm positive.
Positively positive?
Absolutely.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. All right. Before Heather Jones grounds us in prayer, let me share this. Heather Jones is a licensed spiritual practitioner, serving since 2005. She is committed to revealing spiritual truth and recognizing the divine in, through, and as all. Heather serves God with a full heart and passionately provides loving support, prayer, and spiritual guidance for those going through difficult life challenges or who desire to create their best life. She loves to create sacred spiritual practices that evoke dynamic experiences of unconditional love and connect people to their deepest spiritual power. Heather is a prayer warrior who has been using prayer to transform and heal for more than 20 years. Her powerful prayers are so clear, she is often sought out for prayer. When Heather prays, transformation happens. Heather leads a weekly sacred circle designed to support those who desire to deepen their spiritual practices and manifest their heart's desires. She resides in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area and offers her services globally.
Good morning, CSL Greater Baltimore. It's a wonderful delight to be here this morning with you. And so I invite you to close your eyes and take a moment with me to go within. I like to take a few deep breaths before I pray. And you're welcome to breathe with me. How grateful I am that we have this opportunity to be present, to be still, to listen, to become aware of the power and presence and the love and the grace and the expansion of God. I know that God is all that there is. God is divine love. God is peace. God is always expressing, always pouring itself upon us, always giving to us. There is no place, no nook, no cranny, no little place where God is not. God is all that there is. God is everywhere. We are all one with God. God in us, as us, is us. God breathes us. God loves us. God is us. We are God in the flesh. I am one with God, and everyone within the sound of my voice is God expressing. And as I know that this is true for me, I know that God expresses through and as Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson. He is one with God. God expresses through and as Tracy, and through and as our musical selection, our musical inspiration. And so I bless this service. I affirm that we are all ready, willing, and able to be present, to listen, to express, to receive all that there is to receive in this moment and in this service. I know and affirm that we are open and receptive. I declare and affirm that our hearts are centered and open and softened, that we become aware of our wholeness, our divinity, and I declare our willingness to say yes to shining as the deep presence of God that we are. I give thanks for this opportunity to rest in the fullness of God, to listen to the presence within, to be available for all that is coming in this service. And with gratitude, I release this word into the action of the law, knowing it is good right now. And so it is. Amen.
And so it is. Thank you, Heather. The Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore's community honors the world's religions. One tree, many branches. One mountain, many paths. One world, many religions and spiritual traditions. With the lighting of these candles on the first Sunday of each month, we not only honor each person on their select path, but we also bless them and recognize the light, the love, and the life-affirming nature of spirit as it shows itself in each path, in each practice, and in each person. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I want to share this with you. According to the American Cancer Society, 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime, which is why it is important to talk about preventive measures people can take to protect themselves. Encourage testing. Time for announcements. We currently have 3 weekly ongoing ways to study, learn, and discuss. On the first and third Monday nights, The Sacred Contracts Book Club, hosted by Nancy Rosenberg. On Wednesday nights, the Science of Mind Textbook Exploration Group and the Thursday night study group, both facilitated by Reverend Dr. Ray. Interested in a community forum to discuss the questions Reverend Ray gives each week? All right. Contact Sue Monahan for more information. Sign up for the CSLGB newsletter, the CSLG Facebook and Instagram pages, and get more news and information by visiting cslgreaterbaltimore.org or .com. Courageous Conversations. The CSLGB C7 Core will have group and panel discussions with Q's and A's to encourage open, honest, and authentic dialogues regarding topics such as race, gender, and being LGBTQ. If you are interested in more information about this, contact Reverend Dr. Ray. If this fundraising vision inspires you and you are interested in serving on the fundraising committee in any way possible, contact the chair, Rainica Permetla, and come together to strategize the most effective ways to manifest funding. To get more information, meeting dates and time, and join the committee, send an email to rainicapermetla@gmail.com. Here at CSLGB, where every Sunday is an Invite a Friend or Family Member Sunday. Did you also know it is Become a Member Sunday? That's right. Every Sunday is a great day to choose this as your spiritual community, your spiritual family, and hang out with me. The first step is to take the discovery class, which is offered online and can be taken at any time. For more information on how to become a member or what comes after the discovery class, visit the website or send an email to info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org or visit the website for more information on becoming a member of CSLGB. Welcome home. The CSLGB Ministry of Education has upcoming classes. Ooh, what do we believe? An exploration into the Declaration of Principles of Science of Mind and Spirit, AKA the We Believe statements. When we believe something, it affects our lives in very specific ways. And this, tentatively scheduled as a 4-week class, will give the participants the opportunity to explore each of the statements. The facilitator is Reverend Dr. Ray. Dates to be determined based on interests. The investment is a love offering. If interested, contact Tracy Rhymes. Jesus, the man, myth, Messiah, and metaphysical master and mystery. The class will explore who and what Jesus is to us today. Is he a historical person who actually lived? If so, what is the impact of this on us today? The facilitator is Reverend Dr. Ray. Class to be determined based on interest. The investment is a love offering. If interested, contact Tracy Rhymes. For the full class descriptions and more information, you are encouraged to visit the website CSLGreaterBaltimore.org or .com to find more educational opportunities in ours and other communities we are partnered with. If you would like to receive a daily text and voicemail from Reverend Dr. Ray, type JOIN to 833-663-9021 to begin receiving your daily inspirations. You will be glad you did. Okay, on the count of 3, we shout prayer works. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Prayer works. Woo! That's right. We, as a community, continue to treat and move our feet, knowing the truth for everyone around the planet. Prayer requests can be sent at any time via email to info@CSLGreaterBaltimore.org. Our musicians, Shannon Plummer and Bob Simon. They began to travel the country full-time in 2013, spreading their powerful medicine in the form of music, message, and experiences to a world that is thirsty for meaning, purpose, and peace. Bob is an award-winning singer, songwriter, spiritual teacher, and musical mystic who has been called Eckhart Tolle with a guitar. The music that comes through him will vibrate with your spirit exactly where you are. Shannon is a shamanic practitioner, intentional creation coach, artist, and singer. Shannon is an instrument, an engaged observer to the story of your life. Together, they amplify each other's gifts into a divine combination that will lead the soul to truth and peace. They lead life-changing experiential workshops, music meditations, weekend retreats, and powerful concert experiences. To learn more about them and what they are doing, visit their website at wherethelightgetsin.us. I give you Where the Light Gets In.
First your heart goes cold, then your stare goes long. A fire in your eyes, the burning desire left long ago. You've been living your life for never enough to please the one in your head scares you half to death. The one that doesn't exist, it's only up in your mind. The one that drains your cup and always puts you back at the end of the line. These mountains that you carry on your back, you were only supposed to climb. From the day you were born, your path was already known, and it was one hell of a climb, and yours to do was take it one step at a time. And these mountains that you carry on your back, you were only supposed to climb. And these mountains these mountains that you carry on your back, you are only supposed to climb.
All right. Thank you. Where the light gets in. Now, Heather will lead us in a spiritual practice.
Once again, we have this opportunity to turn within, to close our eyes and be present. I invite you to take several deep breaths with me. And when you exhale, I invite you to do a very, very long exhale, as if you're taking a very long sigh of relief. And so let us inhale in, hold, now exhale out. One more time, inhale, hold, exhale out. Inhale, hold, very long exhale. Inhale, hold it, exhale out. One more time, inhale, hold, exhale out. How grateful I am that we have this time again to tune into that stillness, that peace, that quiet that is right where we are. It is at the center of our being. There's no place to go to get there. It is right where we are. Anytime we need to remember, all we need to do is breathe, get still, and tune in to the presence within. God is right where we are. It is our hand, it is our foot, it is closer to us than our breath. It breathes us. It knows us as itself. We are it. But as we tune into this energy of stillness, as we relax into this peace that is right where we are, I invite us to recognize our oneness with God. There is no separation. We are God in the flesh. And so to anchor this truth, I invite us to take a moment to inhale, God is, and exhale, God, I am. God is, I am. God is, I am. God is, I am. So I invite us to just hold on to that awareness that God is, we are, and all is well in this moment. And so it is. Amen.
And so it is. Thank you, Heather. Senior Minister, Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore, Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, has frequently been referred to as a Renaissance man. His mission is to live, move, and be an active, which is an acronym, authentic, compassionate, transparent, inspired, vibrant, and empowered member of society who serves to educate, elucidate, emancipate, awaken, and empower people and communities. I give you, silly man.
Gracias, Señora Tracy Rhymes. Feliz Navidad.
Okay.
Good morning, everybody. Hey. Good morning, one and all. So today we will be digging deeper. So let's take that nice deep breath as we prepare. Okay. So dig deep. Whatever you have to offer, bring it. Did you hear that? Whatever you have to offer, bring it. Bring your best A game. Bring it. Here we are at this time of year where we are now approaching the summit for the year. What tools, resources, and truths are in your possession? What is inside you, pulling you to the top of the experience of life? As the journey of the year now comes to an end, what did you learn through this year? What did you glean throughout this year? And what spiritual principles and practices did you lean on? What supported you through this year? Now, what truths bolster you and will carry you into the next year? And breathe. So in the organization, Centers for Spiritual Living, we have our vision, we look to timeless wisdom, and we have our global vision and such. So here are a couple of passages from some of our key documents. And I want us to focus on some key things here. We see a world in which every person lives in alignment, emphasizing unity with God, connection with each other, individually and collectively. Timeless wisdom. We believe in the incarnation of spirit in all people, and that all people, technically, it's all things, are incarnations of this one divine power and presence. All is that. We are perfect, whole, and complete spiritual beings, and we are expressions of the divine, each and every one of us. When we attune ourselves to our spiritual magnificence, we are free to effectively serve ourselves, one another, and the world. We use spiritual tools to deepen our political, social, and spiritual consciousness. It's a mouthful right there. We join one another in actions, expanding our interconnectedness as we envision a world that works for all. And just so you know, remember, anytime you want a copy of the slides, all you have to do is email me or Tracy and you will get them. So breathe, because we're moving into this idea of what does it mean to serve, to be in service to ourselves, to be in service to one another. Keep in mind, if you've been here before, what do I usually say as part of our closing? At this point now in service, as this thing we call Sunday service comes to an end, that thing that we call being in service and being of service continues even after this Zoom room is closed, right? We are always in service to ourselves, to one another, and to the world. But if we're not consciously aware of it, then are we serving to our highest and most effective in terms of our stewardship? Are we serving our high? Have you ever been to a restaurant where your service, whomever was the server, wasn't really on their A game?
Yep.
How many times did you ask for water and you didn't get it, or you asked my plate, like I wanted this to be piping hot and it's barely warm. Napkins, clean silverware, and you're sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting. Oh, and then you get it. And you say, yeah, we're never coming back here again. Or can I speak to a manager? So they're being of service, they're there, they're at work, but are they doing their best? And I mean consciously doing their best. Because sometimes, yes, we understand that sometimes the server is overwhelmed. Sometimes they're new, sometimes they're in training. I'm not talking about that. That's a different consciousness, because yes, they are doing their best. And even the person who is just, they're doing their best. But in terms of being in service, are they stewarding their service at a higher level of consciousness? We're invited to dig deeper so that we are able to, in moment by moment, really usher in this concept, this consciousness of being of service and in service. But if I'm going to dig deep, wait, Tracy, if I'm going to dig deep, does it not benefit me to know what I'm digging? How many of us have said, If you're digging yourself into a hole, first thing to do is put the shovel down. How many of us have dug ourselves into holes? You know, I've got a credit card. I need a new TV. I need a new laptop. I need a new. That's a new word. That's going to be a new word. I need a new. Tracy, is that a need a new or I want a new? And then I look at the credit card bill and it's, oh, I dug myself into a hole. Oh my. It is very important for us to be mindful. What is the reason for the digging? Don't just dig for the sake of it. Dig with a purpose. So the question is, what am I digging for? Why am I digging? And what is my method of digging? Because see, Tracy and I were watching this thing called Tough as Nails. And there was a particular challenge where they had to dig a hole. And they gave them a little tuna fish can kind of thing. And we're like, here, this is what you're going to dig the hole with. I got to dig the hole with this rather than a shovel. So be mindful of, if you're going to dig, what is your method of digging? Therapy, meditation, a mindful walk. What is the method by which you are digging deep, and why? Why are we digging in the first place? Because as St. Augustine said, the higher your structure is to be, the deeper must be its foundation. If we want to be a world that works for all, and we want to be an active participant in manifesting this, then our individual foundations must be anchored and grounded deeply. In the same way that any building, any skyscraper, the foundation must be deep and strong if the structure is to raise high. There's an ancient Mongolian proverb that says, if you want to build high, you must dig deep. If you want to build high, you must dig deep. So if you have a building that is roughly 1,100 feet up, then the foundation is 90 feet deep. If you want to be an enlightened expression in the world, you want to be someone who is navigating grief, you want to be someone who is navigating racism, you want to be whoever this person is, to the degree that Yeshua said, waters, storm, be still. And you want to do that with racism or sexism or homophobia? You want to change the very condition by your power and your presence, your word made flesh, then your foundation needs to be anchored deeply. Matthew 7:24 through 27. Everyone then who hears these words of mine and does them will be like a wise man who built his, hold on, let's do the remix. Everyone then who hears, who learns and receives these words, truth of mine, and does move your feet, will be like a wise person who built their house on the rock, firm, deep foundation, so that when the rain fell, and when the floods came, and when the winds blew and beat at the house, it did not move, it did not budge, it did not fall. Why? Because it had been built and founded on solid ground. Are we establishing our lives on solid ground so that we are moving from principle, being the very demonstration of principle in the flesh? Ernest Holmes says in Creative Mind, we are now living in a perfect universe, peopled with perfect spiritual beings. Breathe that in, because that includes you. Peopled with perfect spiritual beings, each of which, coupled with the great divinity, is complete within themselves. You right here and right now are a complete being. You are not incomplete. That means right here, right now, everything you could ever need must be present. Why? Because you are coupled with that great divinity. You are that great divinity in expression. So when we think and reflect on such beings as Siddhartha, Gautama, the Buddha, and we remember the time when Mara, their version of Satan, shows up and was like, look, dude, and the Buddha does what? Touches the earth, grounded himself, and said that the earth itself speaks truth. And in that, there is the I am awake. Now, if you're a complete spiritual being right now, then you too, right now, are awake. Are you stewarding from that space? Are you living, moving, and having your beingness as one who recognizes their wakefulness? When Yeshua is out in the desert, also tempted by the lies, tempted by the untruths, what does Yeshua say? I am the light of the world. I am the light of the world. So are you. Because what he, as a demonstration of the Christ, you too are that complete demonstration of the light of God. There is only that which it is. And Yeshua himself said, when quoting Psalms, is it not written in your scriptures that ye are gods? Be ye therefore perfect, just as that which is the power that is demonstrating in, through, and as you is perfect. Be it. He didn't say work for it. He didn't say study to learn it. He said, be it. Be the light of the world. Knowing that if you are this, and you are already a perfect, complete being, then the alignment of your chakras must already be present. So when we practice, we dig deep, we make sure that I am aligned in the same way that in being an effective steward of one's home, one's car, whatever, you keep gas in the car, you keep the engine tuned and serviced, you keep the house clean, keep the windows washed so you can see through them. You maintain that your chakras are opened and aligned. Why? Because I am that. I am that. I am ever becoming and expressing more and more of that which is my divine nature. And breathe. Eckhart Tolle says, awakened doing, right? It's that treat and move your feet. Awakened doing is the alignment of your outer purpose, what you do with your inner purpose. Awakening and staying awake. Through awakened doing, you become one with the outgoing purpose of the universe. Being in alignment, as within, so without, as above, so below, as all that is incarnating in, through, and as us. Being in integrity, walking the walk. So pause for a moment and let's ask ourselves a question. Do I have the ability to influence my life? Do I have the ability to influence the lives of others? What about the world? Do I have the ability to influence the world? Well, what does it mean to influence? The capacity or power of person or things to be a compelling force on or produce effects on the actions, behaviors, opinions, etc. of others. Do you have the ability to influence yourself, your own life, the lives of others, and the world? Based on this, how do you answer? And let's go a little bit deeper and say, we know that we have these we believe statements. We believe that the universal spirit, which is God, operates through a universal mind, which is the law of God, and that we are surrounded by this creative mind, which receives the direct impress of our thoughts and acts upon it. And therefore, we believe in the healing of the sick, no matter what the sick is, no matter what the disease is. We believe in the healing of the sick and the control of conditions through the power of this mind. Is that called influence, Tracy? We have the ability to influence and impact our own lives and the conditions of, and the lives of others. We can impact and influence, and that of the world, when we are deeply grounded, then that impact and influence is of greater evolutionary consciousness. Because even the alcoholic who abuses friends and family, even the thief, the racist, they're impacting the world. The dictator, they have influence. Hitler had influence and impact. But was it of a higher evolutionary consciousness or of a lower non-life affirming? So we always are impacting, having a strong effect on someone or something. We are always influencing. Everything we eat is impacting our bodies. Everything we drink has an influence on our health and well-being. Every relationship we are in is either life-affirming, giving us energy, or it's draining. What is your impact and what influence are you having in your own life and the lives of others? What is your sphere of influence? How are you individually affecting, interpersonally affecting? How are the ripples moving out? When things happen, how grounded are you in the idea of knowing what you can change and what you can't change? Are there certain things that are not ours to change per se? For example, if I say, well, I want Tracy to clean the house every day. So I want to impact her. I want to influence her. I'm going to pray for Tracy to be my maid.
Come on.
That is not within my purview to change her in that manner. So yes, while we can change conditions, there are some conditions that are not ours to change. Follow what I'm saying? So in terms of being the most effective stewards we can be, does it not benefit us to know, well, what is mine to change? Do I know what that is? Do I have the wisdom to know what can be changed and have the courage to change what is mine to change? And breathe and recognize that no matter what, we are highly contagious individuals. We are either contagious with hate or contagious with love, but we are contagious. We are contagious with hope and inspiration, or we are contagious with that which drains and deflates. We are either creating a world that works for all, or our contagion is creating a world of separation, lack, and scarcity. But nonetheless, because we are creation itself, made manifest, we can't help but to create. What are we creating is the question. Ernest Holmes says, we shall know each other in God. We shall know God in each other. As our thought of God reaches to embrace the universe, our arms will be around each other. When we recognize God within ourselves and recognize God in another and reach out from God to God in service, then we will not be able to refrain from opening our arms to envelop, to love, and to embrace one another, ourselves, and the world. Why? Because that's our spiritual imperative. Our spiritual imperative is what drives us to be and do what we are here to be and do. Our spiritual imperative, just like there's a moral imperative, that calls you to be of a higher standard morally and ethically. The spiritual imperative calls us to be the very demonstration of, in the same way that Buddha and Yeshua and any other spiritual teachers, leaders, masters have called us, invited us by their example, not simply to follow them, not simply to emulate them, but to supersede them, to go beyond them. Even Ernest Holmes said, look, I created this thing called Science of Mind and Spirit, but I'm telling you now, open at the top. You need to go past me. You need to evolve beyond anything that I've written and what I've taught. Because if you don't, then you're simply following my words and my teaching. I am telling you that this teaching is meant to be evolved. He says, we are in the greatest age of all history. We are in the age of the unifying of all people and all things into the ever-present one. How do we do this? We recognize that right here and right now, you are chosen, not by some anthropomorphic external deity, but you are chosen because you are the divine incarnate. In the same way that right now you are breathing, you are chosen to be breathing that breath. You have chosen to be present today, to hear these words, to be enveloped in, even if you weren't present for Heather's pre-service meditation, you were enveloped in the consciousness of it. Where the light gets in, you were enveloped in the vibration of the music, whether you were present for it or not, because you are still one with it. Bob and Shannon aren't separate from God. They are God incarnate. Heather isn't separate from God. Heather is God individualizing itself. And because each of them is the one, and so are you, what they do affects you. What I do affects you, because we are all that which is one. Mungi Ngame says, we, the global family, stand united. When we stand against terrorism, we diminish the terror. And we could put any word in there. When we stand against racism, we diminish racism. When we stand against white supremacy, we diminish white supremacy. When we stand against xenophobia, we diminish xenophobia. Unity reminds us that there are far more good people in the world than there are bad. And breathe. Because we come back to the idea, we are here to be of service, to be in service, but we must understand, how do we stand in solidarity? How do we recognize this oneness? Well, one way we do it is what Nancy is encouraging people to do today. Come together and break bread, fellowship, laugh together, eat together, come together in community, because this Sunday service is only one tiny aspect of what it means to be in community. Just like a meal, you have a plate full of food, Tracy, and there's several different things on your plate full of food, Tracy. And there's green beans, and there's carrots, and there's rice, stuff, because Ray cooks a lot. It's like he's feeding an army. So you got 9 different varieties of food on the plate. Carrots are only one small part of the meal. The meal is all of it. One green bean is only one small part of the meal. So how do we come together in service, classes, book study, study group on Thursday, pre-service meditation, contacting a practitioner for prayer? There are so many ways we come together, coming together for courageous conversations where we talk about not only the issue, but we talk about the resolution, the healing of it. Coming together to say, I know right here and right now you are grieving, and I am praying with you and praying for you and holding you in the consciousness, enveloping you in love, because there's only one. And when you hurt, I hurt. And so I come together in solidarity with you. When Tracy and I heard about this woman who was raped on the SEPTA train in Philadelphia, we felt it. No one helped her. We felt it. And so in solidarity, we're like, okay, so prayer, letters to the mayor or whomever in Philadelphia, like, look, y'all need to do something about this, because that individual is a sibling of ours, a sibling of yours. The young Native American, Indigenous American student who filmed their math teacher on some racist rant, mimicking the Indigenous Americans. How do we stand in solidarity? Letters and calls to the superintendent, letters and calls to the school board. Standing in solidarity, serving. Margaret Wheatley says, the community we belong to is all of life. The turbulence cannot be controlled, but when we stop struggling and accept it as part of life, it feels different. There are going to be times when one of us is knocked down, the breath is knocked out of us. That sometimes, that turbulence, that thing, that diagnosis, that experience may not be controlled. It happens. Floods, wildfires, it happens. But how do we navigate it? How do we ensure that the building, the structure, the community is built on solid ground so that as we move through it, it feels different? Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson said, we dig deeper by establishing a firm, resolute conviction to embody and live based upon our spiritual imperative. What is that spiritual imperative? To do everything you can to live, move, and be your divinely magnificent self, the indivisible one. And in so doing, you influence, you impact, and you demonstrate a world that works for all, one life-affirming thought at a time, one life-affirming word at a time, one feeling, one deed, and one human interaction at a time. And breathe. This week, our invitation to practice is 1, reflect upon a time that you dug yourself into a hole that you thought you would never get out of, and compare that to the concept of what it means to dig deeper in order to establish a foundation of faith and action. What's the difference? 2, what does it mean to be in service to others and with others? What does it mean for you to be in service to others and to be in service with others? 3, where are you able to clearly identify your having had some kind of impact? Where has your influence changed something or someone? And then lastly, Tracy's favorite part.
Yay.
That she never does.
How do you know? How do you know?
Lastly.
You're gonna choke again.
Yeah. Lastly, have a conversation with 3 people about what it means to live according to your spiritual imperative. And we will be covering these things this Thursday in our study group, so be ready. So breathe. For this week's affirmation, our declaration, I will say it first, and if you feel in alignment with it, say it with me the second time around. I am because God is, and we are because God is. Together. I am because God is. We are, and we are because God is. And where the light gets in is because God is. And so at this moment, let us open our hearts and our minds and our beingness for the vibrational gift from where the light gets in. Much love and appreciation.
If you want to go fast, then go alone. If you want to go far, you better bring somebody else along. 'Cause in the moment of darkness, in the moment of truth, you think you're lucky stars that there's someone there with you. There's a beauty in numbers it's impossible to deny. It takes two hands to applaud and a pair of wings to reach the sky. Where there was one, there will be many. Where there was nothing, there will be plenty. When me turns the weed like the roots from the tree, it pushes everything up from underneath. Well, together we rise, together we thrive. We believe in circles, 'cause circles take no side. Together we win when everyone is in. When every little hand and every little heart touches every little piece and every little part now. If you want to start a revolution, reach out your hand and lift up a brother or sister and feel the power at your command. If you hold a vision, show everyone what you see and watch the tribe come alive to turn your dream to reality. Where there was one, there will be many. Where there was nothing, there will be plenty. When me turns the weed like the roots from the tree, it pushes everything up from underneath. Well, together we rise, together we thrive. We believe in circles, 'cause circles take no sides. Together we win when everyone is in. When every little hand and every little heart touches every little piece and every little part. What's inside of you is inside of me, and it's amplified when turned into we. You'll never hear one hand clapping, fly with one wing flap. Many hands, many hearts make things happen. The reason they call it unity, 'cause it all begins with you and me. If you want to go fast, then go alone. If you want to go far, you better bring somebody else along. Together we rise, together
We believe in circles because circles take no sides. Breathe. Thank you, Bob and Shannon, where the light gets in. So we breathe and we recognize this part of service as your opportunity to practice the spiritual practice of tithing, donating, offering from your riches, your treasures, your wealth, so that CSL Greater Baltimore is able to be that spiritual lighthouse in the greater Baltimore area, so that we are able to be, as a community, able to be of service for our community, but also the greater community as a whole. Now, you may be wondering, if you are new, so what does that even mean? Well, first know that the practitioners of CSL Greater Baltimore, on top of their regularly scheduled tithes, have said that they are pledging $25,000 by the end of the year, on top of their regular scheduled tithes. And thus far, as of 9/23, that number is $13,350. The community's matching pledge as of that same date is $1,400. And that's on top of their regularly scheduled tithes. So how do I tithe, Tracy? How do I donate?
How do I tithe? How do I donate? What do I do?
How do I practice this spiritual thing you're calling tithing, law of circulation?
Yeah.
You have multiple ways. One,
Really?
you can do so through PayPal.
All right.
Did you know you could also do text to give? And because we love the postal service, you can also put a check or money order in the mail. Sue loves receiving such mail.
Yeah.
If you ever have questions about any of this, feel free to reach out to Sue Monahan, the treasurer of CSL Greater Baltimore, or reach out to any of the board of trustees and ask. Also know that you can divide portions of your offering to say, maybe you want to give to the new building fund 25%, and you want to give 75% to the general fund, or 25 to compassionate care, 25 to emergency fund, 25 to the new building, 25 to youth and family. You have the opportunity to divide up your offering, your tithes. And if you want more information on how do I do that, what does that even mean, feel free to reach out. So we breathe and recognize that here at CSL Greater Baltimore, we understand that wealth, prosperity, and abundance is not just financial. It is also the way that we show up as people, having an abundance of love and joy, having a wealth of health, friendship, laughter, being prosperous in the manner in which we walk so gently and compassionately on the earth. So our declaration of financial wealth and abundance is declaring that we, as these perfect spiritual beings, are infinitely prosperous, wealthy, abundant, and opulent in the manner that the universe is opulent. So if you are feeling in alignment with this, then say it together with Tracy and I. You ready, Tracy?
Ready.
Then let us begin. I joyfully, consciously, and gratefully participate in the law of circulation. I trust in the spiritual principle that says, as I sow into my beloved community, I demonstrate my awareness of standing not only in the flow, but as the flow itself. As I sow of myself, my time, my treasure, my talent, I demonstrate my support and engagement in my community's vision, mission, and purpose. I actively give as a demonstration of manifesting, of reaping the harvest of a world that works for all. Breathe that deliciousness in. How good it is to know that we are awesome.
Yep.
Right here and right now, we are perfect spiritual beings. We are complete and we are whole. We are the infinite holiness showing itself, individualizing itself as us. You're awesome. So as Tracy encourages, go out and be awesome today.
Yeah.
Be awesome. Do awesome things.
Contaminate
the world with your awesomeness.
There you go.
Helping others to feel their own awesomeness. Because we know that there are people who don't feel that they're awesome. They feel that they're awful. So if you're going to be awful, if you're going to inspire them to be awesome, then let their awe, AWE, be full to overflow. Let them feel the awe of being perfect spiritual beings. And to assist us as a community in recognizing our awesomeness and our divine perfection, know that you can get prayer at any time, but you can also stay on the call today, stay on the Zoom link, and Heather, our practitioner for today, will pray with you. You get one-on-one spiritual mind treatment to recognize, to know, to declare and affirm your divine perfection. And if you want to join her for that practice, type the word prayer in the chat box and Tracy will make sure that she places you in a breakout room with Heather. Now, breathe. Because as we said earlier, now that this thing we call Sunday service comes to a close, we recognize that the infinite power and presence that has no end, that is eternal and infinite and forever, continues to demonstrate, manifest, and create. Therefore, that which it is as us continues to demonstrate, manifest, and create. Even after this Zoom room closes, the manner in which we show up and serve ourselves, our families, our friends, our communities, the world continues. And so we go out and we demonstrate this divine contagion called love and unity and peace and purpose, for that is our spiritual imperative. Knowing this, we allow the law to do what it does, which is act upon these words, act upon our mental equivalent, and return unto us what has been sown into the soil of the law of mind and action. And knowing that those seeds are deeply, perfectly planted, then we know that this treatment, this prayer, this service, this embodiment that is you is already answered prayer. Allowing it to be, we say, and so it is. Namaste, love you. Tracy will open up so everybody can chat and love up on each other.